Multi.tv.
Yes, 1-2. Hello, welcome to Game 2 at the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships down in Tasmania. I'm joined by Ailsa from Vanguard. Ailsa, you guys, this is your second game today. We obviously got to catch you first. It was okay. Some things that you'd be pretty happy with, but there are a few stanzas there in your game where you probably let a couple quick breaks in, and that was probably the difference. What's the plan going into this game?
Yep, so I think in the first game we were, thank you. In the first game we were really trying to just find our groove, and we had moments where we really did find it, and then other moments, like you said, where we lost a little bit. So this game will just be really solidifying that. Our whole focus for this whole tournament is really on playing our game and working on our own structures and not worrying about the scoreline or, you know, not really what the other team is doing or feeling. So yeah, going into this game will just be solidifying our own game and our own strategies.
So you're talking about your own game there. We noticed in that first game there was a lot between particularly you, Rex, and Andy in that handler set, ISOing. Was that a plan coming in? Was that because the cutters probably, you know, chilling out a little bit in the stack? Was that a plan, or was that more reactive? It
was a little bit more reactive. So we do have we're very proud of our handler movement and everything like that. But I think they played really good defense last game on us. So I think our cutters had a little bit of difficulty.
So it does mean that if you're on defense and you feel like you've got really strong women, you can choose to have 4 women on defense, and I think that can be a good advantage for some teams.
All right, so they're setting up now, so I'll let you jump in a sec, but just to clarify, those are the new rules. The new rules are in?
New rules are definitely in.
New rules are in. Okay, well, look, you had a pretty quiet game yesterday, or earlier in the day. I hope
so again.
Goes,
that's what we always hope for.
Excellent. All right, all the best. Thank you for filling us in. All right, so Hills have hit the line, and Ailsa's given her charges a rev up, and Vanguard are walking to the line themselves. As Ruben said, there's been a flip for offense, defense, and end, and there's also been a flip for the end that the team decides the gender split. Hope that's clearer to someone. It ain't clearer to me, but I'm a bit thick. So anyway, what I do know is that Vanguard will be receiving the disc. They are up on the right screen. That's the they'll be moving it downwind. So we've still got a right to left wind going on. So Vanguard will get to shoot on offense downwind. They're playing Hills Youth plus Joe, which is a team out of Sydney, the Sydney Hills League. Been around as long as Simon Wood has, which for anyone who knows Simon Wood is bloody ages. So let's hope they've got some connections. They've been a pretty regular appearance here at Mixed Nats, as well as the Women's and Open seasons. So reasonably short pull from Hills. Vanguard coming out. Ailsa Enting Hawk hits Rex. It looks like a one-on-one matchup. Look, with a little bit of push. No, it's a zone. It's a zone. Ailsa back to Rex. Wind really kicking up now, and Rex puts one downwind. Really big put, and it's just out of the reach of Rex's teammate there, who is, drum roll please, not on the team list. Surely she's on the team list. May have been Anna. 36, Maddie Smith, is on the team list. All right, slow start. Here we go. I'm warming up. Okay, Hills are going to have a crack. Hills, early pop. Hannah, I think that's Hannah Monty there. Nice, big grab. Looks outside. Hills, no mark. Oh, it's just over the top. It's too high. Hannah Monty, really nice cut to get the early flow, but unfortunately they can't convert, and Vanguard are going to get a second crack at holding serve for the first point of the game. So it was Chris Fernandez just not able to connect there with Chris Scammell. Okay, back live. Ailsa. Oh, there's a bit of it's a turnover right on the end zone line. Real good chance here for Hills. Elisa Hanley with the disc, passes it off. There was Mitch Sutton, and Mitch Sutton scores the goal. Or Mitch Sutton throws the goal. That was Eden Conway with the goal. Costly turnover there. I think it was Bertie Lee who turned it over, just not accounting for a bit of the conditions. And Hills Youth plus Joe strike first. So Mitch Sutton, really nice inside break on Rex. And Eden Conway catches it, gets the first score of the game, first break of the game. Two very active sidelines on the game behind us, which is probably what you guys can hear in Meraki and CAF. And Meraki have scored the first goal. Tom Della, he is up and about. Back to this game, 1-0. For those just joining, Hills Youth started on D and broke for the first point of the game. Ruben being very gracious with the amount of time he's given between these 2 points. But we're in business now. So the pull from Hills, Nick Lely. Pretty decent pull, gets past Ailsa. And I don't know if she touched it, but they're all carrying on as if she did. So, and she is as well. So now it's in the back of the end zone. Ailsa's got some real work to do. She punches it to Rex. Rex in the middle of the end zone, works it out nicely to Nguyen. And then Rosler back to Rex. So Vanguard did very well. And then Rex jacks one. And that's a lovely throw. 36. That's Maddie Smith again. Now Nunu goes to hit Rex. Nunu goes up the line. Rex says no thanks. Now Ailsa goes up the line. Oh, and he throws it into space. Ailsa can't milk it in. Ailsa right in the end zone line in the cone. Back to Rex. Messy stack. Nunu gets free. Nunu gets the goal. Well done, Vanguard. Would have been a little bit of poop in the pants from Ailsa early on. Touched that pull. Rolled right to the back of the end zone, but kept her composure really well. Punched it out to Rex. Here we go. I don't know if she touched. She was certainly acting as if she did. But in any case, it rolled around, so she wouldn't have been able to take it in from anywhere. But really good work from her and Rex in particular. And Nunu streaming open side for the goal, makes it 1-1. The wind has changed a little bit. It's now coming over your camera, so it's a side wind, a bit more of a crosswind. Meaning both teams are going to have to be mindful of how they're approaching this. Wanting to keep it on the high side. So the wind coming from over the camera, which means the closest sideline is probably where you want to keep the disc more so than the far sideline. Hills Youth plus Joe. Might see if we can get an interview with Joe. I don't know who Joe is, but he's made the team name. He features in the team name. So given that the rest of the team are Hills Youth, I'd imagine he's an older unit. I bet he'd love being called out explicitly as being old. Baddix with the pull. Nice pull from Baddix inside out. All right, Nick Lely with it, rocking a supreme rug himself as well. Chris Scammell looks over. Betty Tan grabs it. They're moving. So Vanguard playing a zone. Back to Scammell. Scammell to Lely. Lely Scammell. Nice swing over to Hanamonte. Hanamonte puts one up, but I think it's cleaned up at the back. It's cleaned up at the back there by Jessie Lee Joe. Back to Hanamonte. Hanamonte moves it out. It's a low one. Lely can't get it. All right, nice quick play. Baddix gets the give go from Ailsa. Baddix looks for the goal, but there was a pretty good defense there from Jessie Lee Joe, who was marking Monty. Hey, is your mic on? I can hear something weird coming through. All right, bear with us. The wind's really kicked up. Almost a Callahan chance, and I think Hanamonte's been taken out. There's a foul called. I think that's probably fair. There's a chat on the field. So Hannah spilled it there, but then it looked like Dignam had gone up and landed on her, which meant there was no chance for Hannah Monty to make a secondary bid. It was quite early in it. I think Dignam understood he was a little bit compromised. Sorry? No, I don't think he was going to get it, and I think it would have been hard for Hannah, and I think Hannah's waving it away, actually. So, I think we have got a Callaghan. We do. So, Vanguard pick up a Callaghan to as well as the break. And we're going to find out exactly what happened. We'll get Ruben on the line. So, Ruben, what we saw there, it looked like Dignam went up pretty early against Hannah Monty, but Hannah saying she didn't have a bit at it. Mike, can we get Ruben up?
Yeah, so there was a discussion of, there was a dangerous play.
Yep.
And that it was...
Mike, you're going to have to help me here. Oh, right. So, thank you, Ruben. Yeah. No, I'm not going crazy. All right, so we had an incorrect gender ratio on the field. I was wondering what was going on. I just stopped the point. Okay. Yep. So Vanguard weren't matching, which is why now the point will be restarted and Vanguard will have to get the D again. So, first time for everything. It's the first time I've seen that one. Baddock's going to have another crack at the pull. Pulls a big one. I don't know if it's going to come back. It's going to probably hit the camera. Just misses the camera, but that is out of here. So Hill's going to have a choice as to whether they take it from about halfway or whether they take the brick. And Mitch Sutton has elected to take it from the sideline about just past halfway. And Vanguard looking at a junk. Great D from Ailsa Enting-Hawk, keeps Hannah Monty out of the pop. And Mitch Sutton turns it over, goes across field blade. As we said, the wind is going from the camera forward, so the wind just picked that one up and took it out of here. Mitch Sutton didn't love that one. His teammates certainly didn't love it. And disc on the other field. Baddock's runs on, grabs it. Baddock's looking, big backhand. He's got Anna Rosler under it, almost grabbed it too, but there's a chat. Uncontested foul. She certainly had a good sit. Mitch Sutton interfered, said, yep, I interfered. Take the frisbee, score the goal. All right, Rosler. With it, hits Ailsa, and Ailsa just bobbles it. It just sat out, spent it before she had it, I think, a little bit. So now, oh, but another D right back. Anna Rosler. So, getting busy at this point is Rosler. Vanguard bringing it in from the sideline. Nice little shake and bake on the dump to move things around. Really good flow. It's Maddie Smith. It's Tran scores the goal. Dignam. Wilson Tran to Nathan Dignam. Gives Vanguard a little bit of breathing room. 3-1. Just a couple of execution errors coming out of the Hills camp, making life hard for themselves. As you can see, okay, really nice effort from Sutton, but he interfered. And here's the goal. Tran looks up, sees a nice, really well-timed cut from Dignam. Dignam saw Tran receiving it, anticipated it, said, yep, I'm off. Open side, goal. All right, we're looking at 4 men, 3 women. Gonna make sure they match this time. Baddocks again with the pull. Wind starting to kick up here. Here we go. Baddocks with the pull. It'll land just in bounds. Not according to Hills. Here we go. Andy Baddocks is calling it in from about 150 metres away. To be fair to him, I think it was probably in. Here we go. Oh. What are your thoughts, Mike? What do you see? And Game Advisor, I think the Game Advisor's called it a brick, is that right?
Yeah, he was right in front of the line.
On the line, okay. Baddocks retracted. Nick Lely. Baddocks decided that from 180 metres away, maybe he didn't have best perspective. Right on the guy whose feet it landed at. All right, Nick Lely. Love you, Baddocks. Nick Lely looks, moves it over. Alicia Handley, back to Lely. Lely to Chris Scammell. Scammell to Fernandez. Fernandez back to Lely. He he wanted one up. He wanted one. Ooh. Joe Tharon comes back. Doesn't get the disc. Instead, it's Alicia Handley. Alicia Handley works down this outside sideline, but it's a turnover. Baddocks baited one in the deep position. Now throws the backhand. Moves it back into the middle of the field. Looks like Tran. Tran back to Baddocks. Baddocks is... Oh, very nice bid, but Bertrand Lee gets it. Lee, Tran back to Lee. Baddocks getting busy on the dump. Oh, Baddocks will free up the line, but the player didn't see it, but he's still free up the line, and he does see it, and then they overthrow Baddocks. Well, some people say Baddocks gets angry unnecessarily, but that would do anyone's head in there. He got looked off on the first up the line. He was free on the second up the line, and they threw it past him. I feel for you, Mr. Baddocks. I do. Not with that mustache, though. That's got to go. All right, so Nick Lely bringing it in from the far sideline. Junk being played. Oh, half a Callahan sniff. But it was turned over. Chris Scammell saw an opportunity to get a quick bit of flow with the inside flick, but turns it. Baddocks again wants the flick. Really good juke stuck out by his marker. Means he couldn't get it off, and then Baddocks goes and sticks it anyway. And Nick Lely reels it in. Lely goes, hits Joe Tharian. Now Scammell. Nice, big, long flick to Alicia Handley. Alicia Handley to Tharian. Now to Skelly. So, this is looking better from Hills now. Back to Scammell. Scammell, a little pop in from around the cup from Nick Lely. Back to Scammell, but now they're hemmed in here a little bit, and he's looking overhead. He's looking upstairs, which probably isn't a wise idea. Lely, Handley. Handley looks in, little one to Scammell. So Scammell manages to find a gap in the cup. That's well done. And that is Fernandez, then Handley, then Lely. Lely with a bit of space now. The cup's getting a little bit looser. Looks to Scammell. Scammell back to Lely. Fernandez. Oh, and then on over the top, but it makes it work. Alicia Handley with the goal. Baddocks was sniffing one out, but the separation was too good. So Vanguard zone gets broken. Hills would take a lot of confidence from that. That's quite good. Alicia Handley, these swings, the dump swings just released any kind of pressure that the Vanguard defense was trying to set up. And then you see here, cup a little loose, allowed the give go, allowed another give go. Look, that one a bit more speculative. I don't know if, given the amount of flow they had, it was a bit of a bold call to throw it, but at the end of the day, it was a goal. Baddocks didn't have a bit at it. So, 3-2 to Vanguard. We are going with, I believe, 3 women, 4 men. So there's that pull. Close enough to say it's a brick. It looks like on that shot there, it looks like it's sitting over the top of the line. And given Baddox thought it was in, I think it's out. Close enough, yeah. Close enough from Baddox from 3 kilometres away, probably to say, yeah, I'll give the perspective to someone else. Anyway, Nick Lely pulls, big outside in pull. That's a brick. I think he has the right idea with that pull. If that pull lands in, that's a real pain for someone to deal with. Big fan of the outside in blade pull, but you've got to land them in. All right, so clearly Rex hasn't read Ruben Berg's brief on bringing it in quickly. 20 seconds out the back. All right, I apologise, Rex. Yeah, it does look a bit clammy. Be ready for a transition. There's no transition yet. Elsa, Rex moving it around. Oh, there's going to be a bid. No, well done. Tran beats Lely, sorry. And Rex to Elsa. Elsa, Tran. Now it looks like it's transition. Oh, nice bid by the player there from Hills. It was Kerry Coote, but it was managed to be snaffled up by Matty Smith. And now Birdie looks at... Oh, Cookie, but Cookie gets hand blocked by Hannah Monty, and Hannah Monty's off. It's going to be a bold call by Lely to put it. He does it. He puts a big flippy floppy over the top. And now Hills can really run it here. Mitch Sutton goes for the put to Hannah Monty, but it had spice on it. And Hannah would be a little dark. She went, I got the block. I went running. Here we go. Nguyen. Hannah Monty just read it really well. All right, Ailsa. Looking, it looks like they're resetting. A really good D, Lely. Got in front of Tran. He had a sniff earlier in the point, decided not to go. The man with the haircut reminiscent of Thor in 1 and 2 goes, yeah, I'm going to get Horo here. So now Sutton as well. This time he connects with Monty. Really nice little ISO they ran on Nguyen there. And Hills put it in. It's 3-all. They stay in touch. Lely, a really nice D to get it back on Tran. And there's a timeout on the field. So let's have a look. You see him position here and then just step inside him. That's clean. That's good. Tran knows it. Tran's dark on himself. Oh, you can see he's dirty. He's real dirty on the sideline at the moment. Lads, I don't know if we're running top 10 this weekend, but if we are, I reckon that one probably gets a run. Anticipated well, and then Hannah Monty really well done, just turning Cookie Nguyen in. Inside out a little bit, catching it about 3 metres inside the end zone line. So, Mike, I might just grab Rex for a quick minute. Rex, an Alti TV favourite. Very good lad. How you going?
Yeah, not too bad.
Very good. You're on the other side of the paint, on the other side of the field this time?
Yeah, I got cut from the broadcast team this time around, but we'll do the best.
It's good enough for Vanguard to pick you up after your first choice.
Yeah, I'm pretty thankful. Thanks for giving me a run around. That's pretty good.
We were chatting to Elsa earlier on, and we remarked that the handler movement between you guys is quite exceptional. Is that out of design or necessity?
Oh, ticks both boxes, I think.
Yep, very good. And but these guys stay in touch with you. I think it's 3-all.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can put a couple more in, see how we go.
All right, well, best of luck. Have a good one.
Cheers, Moz.
So I believe it is 3-all. Mike, can we just get a check on that? Yeah, the scoreboard on the field says 2-all. It would be evens, which means it's probably 3-all. I've got Nick Lely walking past me and I'm getting a chance to see that hair, that rug close up. There is a lot of ginge in that. And why wouldn't there be? He's living loud and proud. If anyone ever saw Gimli in Lord of the Rings, that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a man-size, an adult-sized Gimli. And my axe. Right, okay, coming out of the timeout, 3-all. 3 apiece. Hills coming out on D. There we go. Pull goes up. Again, a little bit shorter than they'd like. Ailsa and Rex can't decide who wants it. They work it out. Rex goes to Ailsa, goes to Cook Nguyen, then to Baddix. Hasn't had a chance to set, has the Hills zone. And I don't know if that was by design, but that was absolutely beautiful. Baddix and Nguyen combining. The blind turn to pick up the swing. Ailsa to Baddix. Baddix, the inside-out flick, picks up a little bit of air, but it looks like his teammate will have enough time. That's Maddie Smith again, picking up a big, nice goal. Vanguard, fair to say, shredded the Hills Youth plus Joe zone there. They never let him set. And through not only around the zone, but through it as well. So you live with one of those things happening, but both, you're gonna have a very, very tough time. Excuse me. Very tough time getting blocks. Asking a lot of your backfield. See Baddix in a ton of space here. Can scope out the rest of the field. You see, I think it's Tran goes wide to the open side, which means no one's sitting there. He pulled 2. So Tran up the top there in the end zone. I don't know if we have time to run that again. But if you watch Tran up the top, he did the good thing. He pulled 2 players, which meant his teammate in Maddie Smith had a nice, easy goal. Baddix not with nearly as many turnovers as the last game, or as many turnovers as everyone would want. Vanguard leading 4-3, pulling to Hills Youth plus Joe. Pull goes up, Baddix from the middle of the field. Inside out, backhand. Vanguard doing a better job of pulling it up that end than Hills Youth plus Joe. So, Scammell. Sutton. Sutton to Coot. Coot hitting the far side, gets it back in the middle of the field, back to Scammell. So they've worked it really well and haven't allowed Vanguard's zone to set, which it now does. Now Hannah Monty. Hannah Monty sitting in the backhand position. Wants the backhand, wants the backhand. Might go upstairs. That count's getting high now. Has to try and get it out. There's a high count. She's marshalling people around and then goes to throw the stall 9. Her and Scammell having a chat. Scammell not sitting where he wanted her to, or where she wanted him to. So, Baddix coming in, Scammell marking, and we're bringing in about 2 metres from the end zone. Hits Tran. Tran, nice low one to Ailsa, does well, gets down to pick it up. Ailsa being marked by Betty Tan. Hits Dignam. Dignam does nothing by way of a pivot, tries to now. Gets it open to... Enting Hawk is getting worked. Any risk of her male counterparts just throwing it anywhere in her vicinity would be appreciated, I'm sure. We're going to bring it in on 0. Enting Hawk having to do a bunch of work. Standing backhand, wants backhand, goes to the fiancé in Baddix. And again, another layout bid. I don't know what Enting Hawk's done to her teammates, but they seem determined not to throw it anywhere near her. But so far, she's doing a great job. The stack isn't. That's a 2nd or 3rd pick call so far, but Rosler does well. Looks at it, but looks to throw the backhand goal, but Mark McLeod got in the way, got the block. Sutton's going to pitch it up. Pitch it up? He might pitch it up, but for now he picks it up and then he throws it. He gets Scammell. Scammell goes wide to Monty. Scammell learns his lesson with Monty, but those two just can't connect. Monty gives them the flippy floppy backhand. Scammell bobbles and drops it. Tran picks up. It's Baddix. Baddix looks for the give off Tran. Oh, there was a sniff. Mark McLeod had a sniff there, but now it's Dignam. Dignam to Baddix. Baddix left posted by way of a dump. Ailsa comes out, and for the first time at this point, they hit her, and then she turns it. So maybe that's why they were doing it. Unless Ailes has got it off a layout, it's a turn. It's Chris Scammell. Looks inside, inside flick. And wouldn't you know it, Scammell to Monty, third time at a point. Cannot happen. So those two need to get on different lines because it ain't working. Unfortunately. Wind, to be fair, is probably having an impact. Baddix wants the break, throws the break, misses it. It was a bit of an ask. Definitely wanted the break. And Hills setting up. I couldn't tell you how they're setting up, but there's been a big put off the disc. That was Scammell. Unsuccessful. Mark McLee tried to reel it in. Baddix looks to run, pick up. Wants Tran, decides not to. Instead hits Rosler. Rosler to Tran. Tran. Baddix looks backhand. Baddix throws backhand, wants the give go, gets the give go. Well done. Torch McLee. Then Baddix, nice big backhand, but I reckon that one's out the other side. It is. Rosler trying to reel it in. That one would have been borderline out as well. Yep. While we're waiting for that. Tran, Daisy Cutter. Ailsa goes, all right, I'll deal with this. I can do that. Dignam goes, okay. Ailsa, grab this. She goes, all right, sweet, I'll grab that. And then Baddix, the boyfriend of all people, gives her the hardest one and the best bid. She goes, okay, boys, I'm going to grab this, but please stop taking the mickey. All right, Monty moves it downfield. Scammell hits Sutton. Sutton winds up the big backhand to Monty. It's a sweet throw. That is A1. I reckon we'll spool that one up on the end of the day. That's probably worth a top 10. Hannah Monty, good run down the near sideline. Baddix picked her up too late, but to be fair, Mitch Sutton had a look. You see Baddix picked it up a little late. Could have had a bid, but probably would have killed someone. So he pulled out. Full credit to Hannah Monty. Absolutely streamed for it. Knew exactly where this bloke wanted to throw it. And a pretty good grab because that was dying. And I think we might have another timeout. Mount Wellington there in the background. Scores from around the grounds. Meraki continuing their good morning. Now up 7-2 on Kafka. Again, the names need work at these kinds of things. But Caf, who are out of Sydney. Going to look one more time because it's worth it. Ailes has 3 grabs in 1 point. Her teammates doing not a whole lot to help her. This one, another good reflex bid. Yep, Elsa's getting busy. And then the biggest one of them all, you got to keep in mind the wind's pushing that disc away and grabs it one hand. Yeah, special. And it happened to be a pick downfield, which meant she could pull herself together and maybe just have a chat to a couple of her teammates and say, what's the go? All right, so for all, wowee. Vanguard dominating the balance of play, but Hill's just continuing to do enough to keep it in touch. So Vanguard looking to come out really strongly out of this half. If this game turns into a scrap, Hills Youth plus Joe will give themselves a big chance. Just can't have Scammell and Hannah throwing to each other. Hannah Monty throwing to each other. It ain't working. All right, Gimli. Nick Lely, sorry. The typo. All right, Nick Lilly with the pull, challenging pull. It only goes to about halfway. And it looks like Hills Youth plus Joe are going to set a junk. Baddix picks up, wants to get it off, but gets hand blocked. It's up in the air. Baddix is going to get it back. Not. Hand block. It's two hand blocks for Baddix today. Nice move off the sideline. Lely has it. Moves it wide. Fernandez. He looks and lets one go, but it was intercepted by Baddix. Nice pickup. Baddix, Enting Hawk, Nunu. Nunu back to Enting Hawk, and Hills have reset this zone and done reasonably well at it. They've locked it down, no flow being really allowed. But the cup and the mark need to work together. They're both baiting at the same things, which means you get holes like that. Tran in the middle of the field. Sorry, that is not Tran. It's Lee. Nunu flicks, looks fakes flick. Ailsa gets it off the line. Very important to do. That's the sideline you don't want it on. Baddix throws one. It goes clean over Rex's head. Now we got Lely. Throws it. Hits. Lely Coot. Coot back to Lely. Coot. Lely lets one go. He goes with the outside in. And he can't. It just died on Jesse Lee Joe. That was always going to die late. Have the blade on that back end just getting pushed into the ground. He does have Woody's number. He doesn't have Woody's age. Actually, maybe that's what's missing. Maybe the 1 came off and that's Woody's age. The 1 just came off the front of that number. All right. Ailsa bringing it in. Oh, looks at the big stall 9 Hark. Nunu's got it, but to be fair, he was outpaced pretty comprehensively by Joe Tharian. He got in front of him and made sure that that disc was hitting the deck. Really nice setup from Hills around the disc there. They got the shape between the cup and the marker all right. And Ailsa went, okay, nothing's doing here. I'm not going to bug around with it. I'm going to send it. Oh, Lely. Oh, no. Tharian picks it up. Looks to Lely. Zone is getting played. This is what we're doing. Alicia Handley back to Lely. Alicia Handley looking really nice. Pop in, not honoured. That Carolee Coates. They're moving it out. Now they're out. Carolee Coates gets it in the middle of the field. Moves it quickly. Tharian. Back to Lely. Lely looks. He winds up and another big one. Baddix under it. I reckon that's going out of bounds. That's out of here. No luck thus far on the big puts. Certainly upwind. So Baddix brings it in. Now Baddix is going to look to shoot deep. He does. He shoots a speculator. Tharian gets enough of it. Lee tried to snaffle it over his back, but Tharian's done well twice thus far. Vanguard wanted to test him deep. He's come up 2 from 2. He's no Tom Regaki, but he's holding his own in that deep position. So Handley with the disc. Handley getting worn. Lee fouls. Lee knows he's fouled. Lee apologises, taps it back in. Handley. Nice little cut from Coot. The pop not on it. Lely. They've got to get out of this corner. They're not having any luck getting out of the corner. They might be able to do it now. Tharian looks into the middle. Coot keeps it in the middle. Hits Chook. Back to Lely. Lely to Coot. Coot to Lely. They're moving it. They want to slow it down just a bit. Tharian now. And there may have been a travel call 2 throws back. On Lely, I believe. Lely, let's have a look. Okay, yeah, right. Lely gets it back. Now he's moving again. Scores the goal. Lely hits Chris Fernandez. And Hills take the lead. Hills working it really well, really struggle over on the far side, but as soon as they manage the dump swing, and cut it through the middle. The flow was there. They even got it to the top side of the field a little bit. Side closest to this. But Lely doing really well. Ooh, that was probably more of a travel than the one that was actually called. But Lely managing to keep cutting back inside before that the cup had readjusted. So kept the flow going. Managed to score the goal. And Vanguard now with a little bit of work to do. They will need to score an upwinder now on 0 to keep things moving along. It is 5-4 to Hills. There's a whistle, means the disc's going to go up. Hills pull it, and it's going to land in. Rex is sitting under it. Oh, Rex pulls out at the last minute. Oh, goes to Cookie Nguyen. Back to Rex. Aggressive zone being played here. There's no real wing sitting out on for Hills. So Rosler's sitting in the corner here. You can see her bottom of screen in a paddock, and Rex, he should be putting it to her. But right now they're being able to move it up reasonably well between the two of them, between he and Maddie Smith. Rex fakes the hammer. Someone's got to start respecting that close wing. Rex wants some poppers. Wants some poppers. Is now struggling. Oh, he's half looking at that hammer. Throws a big blade backhand. Works really well. Ailsa read it beautifully. Now hits Nunu. They're on the side they want. Nunu lets one rip. It might be at the back though. It is out the back. And it sounds like Vanguard are going to set one. So Hills playing a really aggressive zone, bringing that wing right up against the handler set, which meant Rosler had a stack of space, but Rex didn't want to hit it. Fair enough. They did manage to move it up, but then Nunu just got a little toey, sent it out the back. So Sutton with the disc. Moves it in. Oh, it just pops out of the hand. Unlucky. I think that's Kelly McKeon. Had a bit of heat on it. Ailsa picks up to Rex. Rex now looks back to Enting Hawk. Enting Hawk grabs it. Back to Rex. Chris Scammell getting a workout on the puppy. Hits Lee. They clamp down now. They've really clamped down. Lee punches it back to Enting Hawk. Enting Hawk has Rex when she needs him. She uses him now. Now Rex doesn't have much. He's going to have to rip one again. Rex wants the dump, then goes the swing. No, goes back to the dump. Enting Hawk to Nguyen. To Nunu. Holds it. Nunu goes, shoots again. That's 2 from Nunu. He's got to keep his head down. Oh. Sutton makes it work. Mark McLeay back to Sutton. They're really struggling to move it with any kind of conviction though at this point. Sutton punches it right back to Scammell. Scammell this time manages to hit his teammate in McKeon. Oh, sorry, Kerry Coote that was. Back to Scammell. Scammell. Sutton. Sutton, really nice hit. Cuts through the zone to McLean. Sorry, McLean. Scammell over the top, but see, gives too much of it. Kelly Coote went to bid, but as soon as she did, she saw Rosler, who now has the disc. Rosler with the disc. Hasn't been in the popping set too much. Ailsa with the disc. Hill's putting a really good amount of pressure on the throwers. Gets a result there. Scammell, Hannah Monty. Wants Scammell, goes to break to him, but it is incomplete. Hit the deck. And now Rex picks up for the quick break. I want to try and do this before the Hill zone sets, because that's what they're struggling against. Cookie Nguyen. Big one, but Hannah Monty sick D. Wore a little bit too, which I don't think she appreciated, but there was nothing malicious in it. Lee was just trying to get to the disc. But Hannah Monty putting her body on the line there, that's special. She knew she was probably going to wear a little bit of contact, but saw the disc and went and got it. So Mitch Sutton picking up now. Chris Scammell goes up the line. Sutton doesn't honour it. So Sutton instead chooses a big around flick to Hannah Monty. Gets a bit of double happiness. She looks a little tender, or maybe she's just wrecked. Mitch Sutton, lovely throw. That's his second big around swing. I think he's had one on the flick side, one on the backhand side, so he can throw. We'll let him go, and it's 6-4. Vanguard a bit rattled here. And Vanguard's numbers now started to be an issue. I don't know if you can see up on the offensive end, but they're just struggling to get to the line. They still don't have 7, do they? Still don't now. They've got 7. They've just got Rex jumping to the field, jumping on the field. But Hills punching above their weight, I think, in terms of seeding. Would that be fair to say, Mike? You would have been backing Vanguard in coming into this game? You were backing them in for the tournament. Look, I think... I'll give you those odds. I've got no problem with making money. All right, so Vanguard. They'll be receiving the disc. They'll be shooting it downwind. Oh, just been told that I've been talking to no one. Well, you guys can't hear Mike, so he's been very amusing thus far. All right, short pull once again. Baddix honours the pop from Enting Hawk. Enting Hawk back to Baddix. Baddix holds the flick. He wants to put it deep, and he does again. It's, oh... 2 guys got in the way there, 2 of the Hills guys, so they're really playing heads-up defense. That's Lely as well as Joe Tharian. Scammell minus a hat now, back to Lely. Looks for the backhand, lovely little backhand out to Scammell. Scammell, it's Eaton Conway playing at point. And then Scammell, big throw, crosswind, and it happens! Oh, that was spicy. Much spice. Very nice throw, very nice grab as well. That one had to be read. That was going up, down, sideways, everywhere. So it came out of the hand really nicely, but you see that disc start to bobble, start to wobble. But Nikki McKeon manages to read it into the hand, be mindful of the end zone, and Vanguard have problems. A lot to think about for Vanguard here, which is exactly why they've called the timeout. And in the timeout, we're going to be joined very quickly, Mike, if we can, we'll be joined very quickly by the National Events. Oh, I'm going to bugger your title up too. What's the title? The National Events Manager?
Correct.
Anna Haynes. Anna, how are you going?
Sensational. How about this weather? Glorious.
Look, I'll keep this, yeah. Definitely take it. What's been the biggest drama this morning? The avocados didn't rock up, or
yeah, a bit of an
the
uproar
field
back there in the
markings
kitchen.
were for soccer instead of frisbee, or
Actually, our tournament director was here until 11:45 p.m. last night, finishing off the line marking, and then a few touch-ups this morning to make sure we were ready to go by game time. So if that's not attention to detail, I don't know what is.
Cannot be highlighted and thanked enough, these folk. The games simply wouldn't happen without volunteers. And judging on how things are going so far, you'd say it's paid off.
Absolutely, yep. They're having a well-earned little break over there at the moment, so they're just doing a quick water run and then recharging, I guess, before the next shift.
And I suppose in terms of extracurricular activities, is there anything we can come to expect? Are there any social events or showcase matches or anything like that?
I believe they've got a social event tomorrow night at one of the local establishments. Heaps of platters of finger food and stuff, I'm told, so get in early.
Excellent, excellent. And I'll bring you up to speed, because you've been watching this game. So Vanguard are down 3 points.
Ooh.
It's 4-7. Hills Youth plus Joe coming out. There have been a couple of really good players. Alicia Handley from Hills, Nick Lely from Hills, Chris Scammell from Hills, and Carolee Coote absolutely just crushing it
Yeah, and a bit different to last weekend when mainly these Hills crews was help bring Div 2 up in Nelson Bay. So they were the ones running out all the water and getting the field sorted.
Right, well, it's sharpened them, I'll tell you, because
they're ready to go.
7-4. Vanguard had called the timeout just before half to try and ping a few back, but I think a few people, Mike always backs them in because he's just a nationalist. Yeah, I think a few people would have backed these guys in. Pool goes up. Lely gets it, and Ailsota gets her again. It nutmegs her, and she's running as if it's hit her. So we're going to see if she brings it in from the back. She has, so she did touch it. She recovers well, goes to Rex. Hill's playing a junk. Nunu. Back to Enting Hawk. Enting Hawk, they're still in the back of their end zone. Looks over to Rex Johnson. Rex Johnson holds it. They're baiting. So you can see Lely here in the bottom. He's baiting this throw out to Dignam. And I reckon both Johnson and Enting Hawk will throw this. So Lely's playing right up there. Almost had a bit on that. But what Vanguard need to do is continue bringing it over to this side. Bring it over to where Dignam is. Because right now they are leaving him posted. Nunu with it. Hill's work around the disc is exceptional. They're putting a lot of pressure on the throwers. But now it looks like there'll be a little bit of flow from Vanguard. Enting Hawk back to Rex Johnson. Johnson holds. Not too much by way of poppers beyond Nunu. And then Rex throws, but Nunu was gone to sleep. So the Hills zone giving Vanguard a real tough time of it. Sutton will be going to the disc. And if you'd want to keep one hand out for that big around swing, but Sutton grabs it. Looks to Lee Joe, Jesse Lee Joe, holds it, high count. And there's a call. I think Sutton's made a call against Lee. I think it's a downfield foul. Count was quite high. Players working it out on their own at the moment. Ruben sauntering over. I'm going to work out if the new rules are in. I think the new rules are in because the disc has gone back. And we're going to work out what the count's on because it was a little bit high. I think we're going to drop it 2. All right, it's coming in on 6. Thank you, Ruben. Lee Joe. Lely gets it up the line. There's a absolute pinhole to thread it through. To thin it through. It was a tight throw. But it worked. Lee Joe to Lely, and that is half. So Hills Youth plus Joe take half on Vanguard 8-4. Full credit to Hills Youth plus Joe's zone. They're playing very aggressively. They're pushing that offside wing right up into the handler set. And so far, Vanguard haven't had the appetite to stick a wide one out to that other wing. But regardless of that, the defensive pressure around the disc, so the mark as well as the fence, by and large, are working really well for Hills. Something has got to give. So we're going to take a quick break and leave you with highlights. We might try and grab Chris Lely to just understand what kind of preparations needed to rock a man bun and a beard such as that. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Yeah, about there's fine. Excellent. So I'm joined by Nick Lely from Hills Youth Plus Joe. Got a couple of quick questions for you. Firstly, you're doing a very interesting job of managing to keep the cans on your head with that man bun. I don't know if we can get a shot of that, Mike, but he's definitely making it work. What's the go here? There's a lot going on.
Yeah, look, I at school had to cut my hair for many years. So I finished school recently, and I've let it out. And yeah, really inspiration for some other frisbee players, and yeah, really it's just about getting it out of my eyes so I can see.
So this is your rebellious phase, is that what you're?
Yeah, you could say.
Excellent. You guys have played exceptionally. I don't know if you would have been raging red hot favourites coming into this game, but
definitely
8-4.
Yeah,
you've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, it's good. I think we came out of the last game and against Funsky, a really high quality team, and we showed some good promise. But here we've just taken it to the next level, and really we're trying to lift our energy, and we'll try and kick it up another gear for the second half.
Yeah, what is the messaging for the second half? You obviously know these guys are going to come at you. Yeah,
it's really just don't let the foot off the throttle, and keep the pressure on, and then just roll them over, keep doing what we're doing really, and don't let up.
All right, so if we do get to see a little bit of separation between now and the end of the game, are you going to let that hair go a little bit and just get out there and lay out and let the locks kind of fly?
I could. It could add a bit of height to the jump or anything like that. We'll see.
I'll tell you what, if you manage to get a bid with those locks flying, that'll be on the pre-reel of every game from this weekend on.
I'll tell you what, if I score a goal in the game, I'll unleash it.
Just let it go.
All right.
Thank you, mate. All the best for second half.
Thank you very much.
All right, so 8-4. Hills Youth and Joe in the box seat. Vanguard with work to do. Baddix, look at a pull. Holds it. Alrighty. Baddix up with the pull. It's going to just reach the brick mark. Sutton picks up. Hits Scammell. Scammell. Over to Handley, who lets a big one go straight away to Hannah Monty. Is she in? She's not in, but she's caught it. Is it in? Is it in? Is it in? We're going to spool up a replay here. No way. Tom Regaki says it wasn't in, which means it was a goal. Definitely in. Do you have a minute? So joined by Tom Regaki, who called that not a goal, and it was obviously a goal. How are you going, Tom?
I'm really good, Miles. Look, interesting the replay because it's naked eye. So Hannah's a very fair player, but I reckon she's just caught and then jumped. There's a foot. Right foot's down.
Yeah.
Right foot was down. Thank you.
All right, the one and only time, Tom. You're right. Okay, do you enjoy that? Because that's the first and last time you're going to hear it out of my mouth.
I do. How's the game going over here, Miles? What's the score?
It's now 9-4.
9-4.
To Hills. Hills have jumped them. So Vanguard really struggling against his own. Hills pushing the off wing right up. And Vanguard can't break it. What's happening in your game?
Similar story. We got a 5-0 jump and maintaining it to 10-4 over against CAF over on the field 3.
And you had a very good first game as well, I understand.
We did against our host
personally, obviously, but
never do. Usually there's a bit of bad, bit of good in there, Muzzer. You know what it's like. But yeah, I'm loving Hills though in terms of they're very well represented Div 2 Nats.
Yep.
Some of their older players, the longevity, a really well run club. And some great kids out here having a look at as well.
There's a big fella with the locks. We had a chat with Nick Lely there, the big guy with the slightly ginger tinge.
Love it. Good hips to look, the man bunnets to look at the moment. And the wind's picking up here.
It is.
Sitting on the sideline.
The pull beat everyone. That's the best pull from Hills today. And Nuno's going to have a bit of work to do.
Yes.
So Nunu's picking it up from the sideline, gives Hills a chance to set their zone. Lely again playing very aggressively, leaving this close wing free. Cookie gets it, but here the man himself, Chris Lely.
Thanks for coming. That is brilliant.
To Scammell. Sorry, Nick Lely to Chris Scammell.
So that's a really being out there, Moz. That once the pull goes to that sideline on that, I guess if you're looking the sideline away from the camera, it's a very difficult throw back across. So the trick what we've been talking about, and certainly all the teams will be saying, don't be overconscious of keeping it there, but don't get stuck with a disc around you. So you really got to bounce it off that sideline. It is deadly otherwise. Yeah,
you'd probably even take, rather than making 5-10 metres downfield, you'd take the backing around. But Nick Lely anticipated it perfectly there. But that's what they're doing. They keep playing that wing high
Yep.
And they're leaving a lot of space out here. They're daring Vanguard to throw the overhead or throw a big around, and they're not doing it.
And that's happened a few times. We had Della do a Callahan now game, and then Sally laid out and did one the opposite, just got ground strip, but they scored off it for CAF. So it was...
you just keep your hands off Tom Della, okay? You hear me? All right, you know what I'm saying.
My hands all over him, mate. Us Toms, you know, Tom, it's twins, mate. No, good lad. He's playing well.
Got a lot of time for him.
Absolutely. So 10-4 as a score over here, and it's hard to come back from this situation. Vanguard looking to go to Worlds, I understand, Moz.
Yep. Short roster, they're playing 13.
Yeah, missing a few from that perspective.
Yep.
Great opportunity, though. A few of other players to step up, see what they've got. Very well drilled team, and usually, off like a quarterback type structure off Joel Pillar usually. So it'll be interesting to see how they go without that.
No
sort of
doubt better
role.
without him in the team.
Oh, look, absolutely.
All right, very nice pull from Hills.
Got to catch those
pulls.
Rex
hasn't been in the habit of catching them. Yep. Ailes has crushed it just quietly, just so you know.
Oh, she always
Baddix,
does.
Tran, back to Baddix. They're doing better here, keeping it in the middle. So they want to keep it on the middle or to this close side.
He's just pivoted and his right foot got stuck for a second there, didn't it, was? Or a bit muddy.
Rex looks to do
out
it.
Of bounds, out of bounds.
Sticks it.
Yeah, it's gone.
Just out of bounds.
Just floating, a bit too high there. Just nothing floaty today. No round throws.
You've got to release low, so...
Look, the other thing I've noticed was, normally you sort of know rounds a lot of teams call. Great little throw through the middle. She thinks she's in. It's the wrong line.
It ain't a goal.
Thrown it back. Nonchalance there. Just didn't know what was going on. But here we go. Hills with the disc. Looking inside out. Another break. Deadly. They look, just the body language of Vanguard at the moment, they look like they've just given in. That doesn't look like there's a lot of fight there. I hope that's not the case. But from the sideline here, Moz, they don't look like,
it's flat, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
Very flat.
Love the uniforms, though. I haven't had a good red shirt in a while in Australian Ultimate. Very good looking.
And speaking of team names, can you run me through, is it Meraki?
Meraki. You've got to talk to our South American influence here. There is some meaning to it. Apologies in advance for not knowing exactly what it stands for of a meaning, but it's nice. It's it's a good crew from down south in Melbourne, and very much the heart and soul of the club is Laro and Carlos. So they have freedom there, and a few others. So
well, I think we're actually going to see you playing. In the last, you played Friskies, is it?
CAF, I think, next. Not CAF. We've got Crank, sorry, Wollongong Crank.
That's right. You've got Crank here on the showcase field. Do you want to tell us all the good things you're going to do? And I can just kind of tick them off or just leave them as you don't do them?
Look, we've been trying to move, trying to use all our players. We've been trying to move it. It's very hard to look off guys like Dalla. We've got a tall roster, but we've also got some good. Ayumi's been playing, Japanese player has been unbelievable. I love watching them play, but when you're playing with him in different styles, such low centre of gravity, lays for everything. She's been awesome. Look, hopefully a good game. They're good solid team from Wollongong as well, so I'm sure it'll be close. Yeah,
they beat CAF, I think, Universal Point.
Yeah, absolutely. So a good close game there. So here we go, Vanguard for disc. Been killing it all game, you've seen, and there's another break force. Beautiful looking now. Back down the wind. They want on this camera side, so they're really conscious of not swinging to that other sideline. And now that's where it is. Now that the zone is, this is getting out of this situation. The trap's been laid.
Well done, Cookie.
Got out of it. Oh, he's nearly got another one. Nearly got another one, but that's good. Vanguard's there. Up goes the huck. Hasn't got enough over the top there.
Wrong execution.
Look, that's what I thought they were stuck for. I got out of it. Now it's a bit of run and gun. They've picked it up. They've matched up now. There was a long put. Didn't go. Great grab. Got up high there. Looking, nothing generating down the line. He's going to look to reset under. No, cut up the line strike. He's done well. Really? No continuation. No, it's unfortunately just a little bit, no inside out. Just turned over into that wind. Good structure there. Good structure. And they're going to lay that trap again, Moz, I think. They wanted to get to that away side and then just get that zone. Bang, up straight away.
Go.
It's high. It's goal side.
Nathan Dignam. That's Michaela's
brother. Yeah. And he's done well there, and he's done the give. Thanks for coming back in town.
There's a pulse.
Back in town, they look happy, and they've just totally turned around. It's a long way back, but
it's amazing what happens, Tom, when you just listen to the comment. You listen to the people that know what they're talking about. Me, and in some cases you. Look, about that's what you got to do.
I hear. I'm not sure how much they're listening to the commentary at the moment, Moz, but if they were, I'm sure they'd be taking a few pointers there. And why are you on the sideline? Is this?
I decided to break my ankle on Tim Horden's foot, so I've been taking a bit of time out. Went and played my first game back.
Yes.
And played league and strapped it up and warmed it up, and it was all going well. And then my other ankle started hurting, and I was like, that's all right, because the physio says, oh look, sometimes the rest of your body tries to overcompensate. And at the end of the game, I looked down and I'm like, okay, my left ankle's strapped, but this right one's really hurting.
Yep.
But which one did I break, Tom?
Right
I
one.
broke the right one.
Yeah, okay.
So just didn't warm it up, didn't strap it.
I was about to say, Moz, you don't strike me as a guy that would have done a great rehab there. You would have just sat back and enjoyed the 6 weeks off while breakage. So, mate, we're not getting any younger, mate. Let me tell you now. You're not the youthful, arrogant kid you once were, mate.
Well,
You're a mature man now with broken bones. So
the youthful part's not there, but I think everything else is.
Right, back to the game here. So we said they're up to it. They need to get 2 or 3 in a row, though, Moz, to really make this. I mean, if you're watching at home, you do want a contest, really, unless you're from Adelaide or Sydney. You just want to see a good contest like in any sport. They are going into the window, Vanguard. Good pull. Set up past the brick mark. Can't ask for much more. There is a stiff enough breeze there, people. I can tell you now. Big strike long. Looked off, but got some great movement upfield. There's no one coming under now, though.
1-on-1.
It is off a Horro. They started there, and Hills. Oh, just
here we go. Baddock's going to look for the quick break.
It does it. Is that Tran Long?
Yeah, it's
yes,
Tran Long.
There he is, but looked off. There we go. It's up. It's beautiful. Again, he's got the family traits there. We know Milky is beautiful with a disc in hand and without it. Back to Baddix. He's looking. He's again planted that foot and doesn't move once he plants it. There he is. Just trying to cram it up the cram hole when it's not there.
Irate.
Yeah.
He is steaming.
That was doing 2 in a row, but they're not out of it yet. The D's good. There's a long cut to generate, but it's a point. Under, it's good
They've
save.
lifted though. You can tell they've lifted.
No, there's good talk in the sideline. Don't know if the cameras are picking up, but there's good sideline talk from both teams. Suddenly the pulse is lifted, as he said. It's going up. It's short. Baddix makes up for it for D. Swing, wants to give go. He gets it.
Oh, he wanted it to Dignam, but Dignam's too deep.
Oh, sorry for hitting in the chest, he says. That's unfortunate because they were doing the right stuff into the wind. And just maybe a bit of fatigue. It's been a longish point. And normally there's an outcut to start with for Hills. There it is. Looked off again. Break into the wind. Beautiful throw.
Here we go. This is long. Looks it off.
Didn't want it. It's okay. It's safe. He's got options. And there's a foul there, I think. Bit of contact on the mark. Just looking at the game advisors, looks uncontested to me. Yes, we've had that confirmed. For those at home, the hands out that you might see from the game advisors indicates that is uncontested foul. So the count will come in on 0. There it is. We're back in play. Flick across. Looking upfield. There it is.
Oh, he left it.
He
left it.
He didn't know it was for him, I think.
Nah, that's where you borrow from the cricket. If it's yours, if you've got a crack at it, don't wait for someone else to grab it. You pluck that bad boy.
Absolutely, and then get them to shout you a beer that night. Difficult position here. They are on the good sideline, but it's a long way home, and there's slight into the breeze and across. So he's picked it up and just played it. He could have walked it up to the line, but he chose not to. Element of surprise, but they're well set though. They didn't catch him out too much. There's 4 around the disc. He's dropped it. I thought he almost made up for that clean drop before with a fantastic effort. Hills now want to get off that side. You want to attack from the centre of the field. That's a tough corner to attack from. And now they're trying to get off the line. Even on man, it looked like a pick called. So someone's been obstructed there. They'll just gather where it was, reset, and we'll get the disc going again. So if I really want to get the disc off the line here, Moz, because
Baddix won't let Scammell up the line here.
No, you wouldn't have thought so.
Oh, jeez, what's he done? You made a fool of me, Baddix.
Inside out, high disc, ding him up, and Tran behind. No call, play goes on.
That's fair enough.
He's got it, he's done well. He won a little fakey, Baddix. There's a swing, they don't want it. It's the dead little corner. Baddix gets it back to the right side of the field. It's floaty, but jeez, it was just panicked. That float panicked him, yeah. Hills back in play. I don't want to get too far right. There it is for the score.
That's
comfortable.
That's a dagger.
12-5. There is no comeback from there. And
Baddix is dirty on himself, and he knows that there were 2 really good chances up that end when they actually got the turn up close, and then despite getting the turn down here, they couldn't convert it.
Beautiful. So 12-5, we'll try to keep this entertaining, interesting, and there's a timeout. Just Moz thinking, World Championships in Ohio next year. There's 2 women's teams, 3 men's teams going, but the mixed division is undetermined. So we have.
So we don't know how many picks are up.
It was 2 spots for Australia, and I believe there's 7 teams from Australia trying out. One of them is Vanguard. There's a number of them here. There's a couple of the Frisky teams. There's
Frisky,
Sublime, Paradigm's here. So there's a tournament in December coming up. I'm not sure if we'll have the pleasure of Ulti TV. Hopefully they'll come along and see some really top-level mixed ultimate for those in December. December in Melbourne. So I guess the interesting thing here is to see Vanguard. They've got a lot to play for in my mind. This is all all the way to December. They want to. Yep. So, really, they'd be having a chat now saying, listen, it's not about this game. It's, we want to win nationals and we want to go as far as we can, but it's all learning experiences and you learn more from your losses, they say. Yeah, no, we had a chat with Elsa who actually paraphrased exactly that, who said they're in for the long haul. They know they're a little bit undermanned or underpersoned. Thank you. That's very politically correct there. That's unlike you. Again, you guy. Change. But no, it's fair enough. We've got some new rules in Ultimate of recent years where there's equality in terms of men, women, so good. We like it. You can do it. So it's working well. I have not heard any objections whatsoever. No, it makes sense. It's good for the game. Absolutely. So we certainly support that, and of course we do have a men's and women's season, or an open and women's, but this is the mixed season at the moment, and this is the pinnacle in Australia. So come Sunday afternoon. Who are you tipping for the full Sunday afternoon? Who's going to be at the pointy end, and who's going to walk away with the trophy? Yeah, look, well you've got to mention Frisky in the conversation as defending champions, but they seem to have gone split teams, so I'm not sure if they're that good to actually split and still win it. So if they had one team, I think the split is worlds, non-worlds. Sure. Is that the male? I'm not 100% sure. I'm not up to it, but that would be one way to split it, and I guess that's the question then. So you'd probably want to back the worlds team, but then again, the non-worlds team has a couple of very, very strong Dingo and Colony lads on there, so they'll obviously be dangerous as well. I mean, Lipsis isn't here this year. Obviously, a very strong mixed and women's club. They're not here, so no, they've got a women's team going, Mozza. So I guess they didn't. There's a few. I've seen G. Sal's obviously played for Cav. So there's a couple of the Ellipsis women playing, but not as a club. They normally bring a lot of strength with combining some of the host players and other friends as well as the Ellipsis girls. So we're back in play though. That went out and then back in, so he can take it back to where it went out, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's just calling it back, saying where we think it is. They've agreed nicely there. Swings in the middle. Wind's kicking up big time now, Tom. It is. It's strong, and you just got to snap the wrist and throw flat. Nothing floaty whatsoever, and those little dumps worry me. Every time I see those little dumps, snap the wrist, low hard, aim at the chest. That's a beautiful throw. That is, if I could have demonstrated a throw that said what I was talking about, that was it. Here we go, looking. Oh, that's nice. Oh, jeez, that's unlucky. I've had a couple of these, Vanguard, so I would say it's unlucky, but you make your own luck, they say. It's not going to help. Here we go. So Hills has got the challenge of going into the wind now. Good cut, flick on the worst possible position, flick into the wind. Got one away, dumps. Sorry, I don't know this gentleman's name, but he's had a good game from what I've seen. Yeah, that is Nick Lely. He's called Contact. So you can hear me to jump. Not sure if we would have got it, Moz, but I guess you've still got to make a defensive effort without hitting it. So I guess they're just saying, would you have got it anyway? And could he have jumped high without the contact? My call will be they just politely say we don't agree and it'll go back to the thrower. But I think it probably will. But we've got the game advisors here. We've got Ruben, who's been very helpful. Got the replay here. So he's jumped up high. Look, you're allowed to jump in your own space. Look, 50-50, I think that one. They'll just. Hopefully the conversation won't go too long, and sometimes, if self-refereed sport, if you can't agree, it goes back. And all we ever ask for is a quick conversation, and this looks fairly quick. Well done there to Ruben, working it out. Called it. Those two is a calls contested that we mentioned before. Arms out with the palms out is uncontested, which means it's the player is saying, yes, I agree with you. In this case, they don't agree. Shake hands. Away we go in a minute again. So that was a flick into the wind. As soon as it's any wind that floats up, that was the issue. But he's still got a cut if he wants it, Mozza. He's still got this one here too. So it's still about big deep, you can see, deep. But it's into the wind, that's not an option. And he's a backhand into the wind. That's, wow, beautiful in the end. Jeez. Yeah, geez, there we go. No. Oh, he's got a tap. What have you done, no? Tap. He's caught it. Oh. Sutton, outside the end zone. Hold the backhand. Looking. Oh, it's jumped up again. It's funny how you say calling it. The wind is just doing all things to these players in the disc. Well, it's funny you say you make your own luck. One cold drop from Vanguard, and these guys are getting off max. It's from what I've seen. Let's just buy a Touch Lotto ticket. But here we go, swinging, moving it now nicely. It's pretty frantic at the moment. I think Hills is 2 set. They've got a bit of structure now. They're letting him swing it around. There's nothing up on. Beautiful throw. She's held on to it this time. There is a play there, but it's a difficult throw there. Oh, Farouk, some hands. Who's got it? He's looking for a flick over the top. Good hands.
Well done,
right on the end zone line. He's got someone in front of him.
He looked off the open throw. That made it work.
Wow, there was someone literally.
Maddie Smith catches the goal, but
he could have shaken hands with his receiver there if he wanted to. He could just handed the disc. It's not legal. You can't hand a disc, but he could have. Well, Vanguard, they keep it alive and good response. I think they called that time out. It was very few points that go, uncontested. Usually a turn in each one, but here we go. So his Hills team. I'm trying to have a look. There's a few fresh faces I haven't seen before. There's obviously a few juniors around.
Well, the ones that we've been calling a lot of is Mitch Sutton, who I think is one of the elder statesmen. Nick Lely and Chris Scammell from the gents. Alicia Hanley's been getting every second disc. Hannah Monty's an absolute jet.
Yeah, we know Hannah.
And then Carolee Coote's been doing a lot in by popping. So Vanguard continued up until recently throwing a lot of zone. And Carolee Coote was getting very busy. But certainly Nick Lely has been probably best on.
Speaking of Hannah, obviously Australian representative, I haven't seen her on for a while. Is she on this point of looking?
She's had a couple of really good Ds.
Has she? She's just taking her cleats off. 12-6 enough. She's no longer interested. Hannah just comes on when it's close.
She wore a bit of attention, actually. So she put her body on the line in a couple and was looking a little bit ginger. But yeah, you'd imagine she's just looked at it and gone, right, my service is no longer required. Yeah,
look, I've heard just behind me here, but Meraki's up 12.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tom, you're doing something similar yourself.
No one's tapped me on the shoulder. I'm here enjoying a conversation with you, Moz. It's not often I say that, but there it is on camera, Moz. We're enjoying each other's company. I love it.
I've said you're right. You said you don't mind hanging out with me. I'm going to frame this.
Twilight Zone. I love it. Here we go. Hills, another decent pull. Doesn't look great on camera, but it's a stiff enough wind just to give you a feel for where the distances are. Pivoting. Looks
Scammell,
nice little flick. Great wrist snap. Dishy. That is danger.
Here we go.
And there's an undercut if Dingham wants it, and he does.
Good.
Looking, there's nothing there. Now he wants to move it. This is the little corner of death. There it is. It's floaty though. That's the problem.
He's got it.
Sideline is a push out. He may call push out, is what I'm hearing. He's calling it out.
Rex is calling it in.
There's a game advisor right there, Steve Baker. So he's walking over. He's not. They may ask his opinion. They don't have to be governed by it, but why wouldn't you, I guess, if you've got a neutral person there. We're going to have a look on the replay. Tough angle from here. We're up high. It's up. If he snapped the wrist again. I can't see from there. Close. Sorry. Yeah, they would have had a better perspective there. And they've had a conversation, agreed that it was in.
I think they're calling a force out.
Yeah.
So it must have been very close because he didn't have much of him, but obviously had enough for it to be a force out.
Yep.
Got Ruben streaming towards us, and he's going to tell us what we already know. Force out,
Yeah. So for those at home, again, if you jump, you're allowed to jump straight up and allowed to land. So if you contact it in the air, you jump from up, and you feel that you could have landed in if it wasn't for the contact. You can call that, and it was uncontested by the defender. Said, "Yep, I did push you," so it's called a goal. Well, 12-7, that's 2 in a row by my count. It's a long way home. Timing-wise, 81 minutes.
So what's the deal with the time cap? Is it
add one to the top. So there's a soft cap at 90 minutes. So we'll finish the point, add one to the highest score to have a cap. Look, you'd like to think it'll go all the way to 15 here. I mean, Hills is at 12, but we'll see. A couple of run now. But the other thing at that with Vanguard is, again, from right to left is where the wind's going. It's a bit across, so the wind's going from behind the camera across the field mostly, but it is a little bit right to left as well. So it's definitely Vanguard's pulling from the side that you want to be pulling from.
Yep.
And that other opposite corner on the sort of a back left, if you're looking at home, is where the real difficult situation is. So they're up and about. Baddick's just sort of rallying the troops. Let's see this pull. It should be a good one. A little outside in, should pitch and roll. Be very hard to catch if he puts his shoulder into it.
Now, they say, Tom, politics and sport should never mix.
Yes.
But for those playing along at home, Deputy PM Barnaby Joyce ruled ineligible for Parliament.
Wow, I think
the government loses their majority.
Yeah, well, Vanguard, the Adelaide people want him back anyway. He's always been more passionate about South Australia, so good luck to him. Let it back off to rot South Australian politics instead of federal, but no.
Yeah, you're thinking of Nick Xenophon there, Thomas.
Sorry, I'm thinking Xenophon. Is he He's going back. Sorry, this is the other crook, is it? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
one of the many.
Yeah.
Lely with the disc being marked by Baddix. Baddix is going to have to step it up, and Baddix gets the turn. Baddix realises there's a little bit of mongrel that's going to have to come out here if Vanguard are going to get back into this. And luckily for Baddix, that's a skill he's got.
Very much so. He's got this habit of pivoting.
Dignam, he's seen Dignam. It's going to have to be a threading of the needle. Oh, what a throw, Baddix!
He's got his hands up in
Everyone's
the air.
standing. Everyone's standing and looking, but there were two players running. Surely this is just a goal.
Defender's just gone, I'm not sure. You can't. You're either in or out. You can't say I'm not sure. If you're not sure, it's a goal, I'm guessing. Discussion. It's disappointing we have to discuss it every time.
All of these have been on the wrong
Goal.
side for the cameras.
Done.
Here we go.
It's a goal. It's called already there, but there's the replay. Yeah, feet down. Yeah,
I think he's in. I think the right outcome was there, but
I mean, the wind's pushing
just
it.
stopped and looked, didn't they?
Well, the defender didn't really call him out. He said, I'm not sure. If you're not sure, get on with it, because he called himself in. But look, well done there. So there's another look for those. He actually thought he was out. The defender could have got that if he had any effort as well. He just looked down the line, wasn't sure. The game advisor's right there. There wasn't much conversation, but that's a 3-point run.
Yeah, three quick ones in a row.
No timeout. Typically, teams, if you get a 2 or 3 run, you'd sort of regroup a little bit, but there hasn't been. But let me dare say that this one would be.
Okay. Yep. Game advisor called it in. Credit to the game advisors. Our angles have been pretty ordinary. But
they have.
Just because it's on the far side, no slight on Fausto or Jackie Boy. But
unlike us, not to have an opinion as well. They've been very, very
oh, don't worry, you missed. Baddix had an opinion from a disc about 150 metres away.
As you would. He's a good character.
But to be fair to the game advisors, they've been Johnny on the spot each time.
Yeah. Then would you be eligible for politics, Mozza? You got any dual citizenships going on?
You know, when those I do have dual citizenship, so that's one issue.
Is this the only reason you're not?
I don't think so.
Today?
No, I think you know, when those skeletons come out of the closet, you know, years after they've started their tenure, I just think I'd have a pretty decent cupboard full. All right, so Vanguard have pulled it just past the brick mark. Chris Scammell looks and winds up. It's a cutter.
Wow.
It hit Nick Lely.
Wow.
That had a minimal chance for error.
And that's gone. That's again into that
look.
corner. Wow. That was not the best huck I've seen, but effective, as I say. Ugly, but effective. Yeah. But it was low. I guess it was at the chest. Did the job. I would have thought that should be turned, but
yeah.
There we go. So this is the worst possible place you'd want to be for this. Zone set.
Here he goes. He's
and it's just going to rip. And it's too short, unfortunately, and that's the problem. I mean, I'm not sure if I need to do that. They've just given it this there's a down. Yeah, they're going to pull it back up. There was an injury on the down. They don't know it.
Now here's where it gets interesting. They were playing on. It was to their advantage, but there was a player down behind play.
They know it. Look, I think that should go back, because part of the problem is those Hills players are open and panicked because they've stopped. So those options wouldn't have been there. So it was a while ago, and this looks like a reasonable ankle injury or something, trying to go that D. So there's a bit of discussion where I guess the conversation would be played stopped some time ago, and I think it is going back to Hills, back to where it initially turned. Back to politics. You're a good mate, Tim Wise. I understand he ran for presidency or something like that at some point.
Oh, yeah, look, I think if you ask him, he was on the way to be president.
Yes.
I don't think the fact that Australia doesn't have a president would have phased him one bit.
No.
I think he still would have been going for it.
He's got a bit of Trump about him, that's for sure. But
look, he had a lot of flyers. I was living with Timothy at that point.
Well, there's the injury, just turned over. The right ankle looked like just came over it.
No, he had a lot of flyers. There were a lot of flyers in the house. He's thinking of doing it again.
Sure, I'd vote for it.
We're living in Higgins these days, which is about as blue as it gets. I think it's Peter Costello's old seat.
Yes.
Probably not going to move anytime soon. So just back in, Hills. Quick give go. Tharian doesn't get honoured.
Oh, nice swing into that wind again.
The throws are exceptional from Hills.
Good wrist snap, just snapping low hard. Doing well. No mark on the disc.
Oh wow.
Jeez, good hands. It's
Here
floaty.
We go, Lely.
They're the throats you don't want. That's over the top. Yeah, see, as soon as you just gently give it a little...
Yep.
It's like flying a kite, not a disc, unfortunately. So you got to just snap the wrist low and hard. And you'd think now, this is deep into the second game, you would have learnt that by now. Like, I understand first game, you're having a good warm-up, you got to get used to the conditions.
Yep.
Talking to Mike Baker, one of the hosts from Tasmania, he says it's only going to get worse. 40k an hour winds tomorrow. So
Really?
I guess, you know, you're going to see a lot of zone. You're going to see a lot of this sort of style. It's not the prettiest to watch sometimes, but it does make it interesting tactfully. So you can get some upsets where teams perhaps you don't think athletically every match takes a little bit out of it. And
it's above the shoulders, Tom.
It does a lot.
That's the one.
Badix,
well done. That's what they should be doing.
Shoulder high through. So you can throw it with a wrist snap low.
They're on the good side now. They want to keep it here on this side.
Backwards, go quickly. Now Badix has got no mark. He looks up. Now he looks back through.
Good.
Well done. Oh, see, just no need to. You're open there. It's got to take your time. Let him go 2 hands. And in the bread basket, it's just unnecessary. There's no pressure.
Lely, nice little flick.
Yeah.
Front of the stack, back to
Got
Lely.
it back. It's not even running.
That's
just his point. Bang, bang, bang.
But to your point earlier, Tom, you show it any lip, you put any kind of angle on the disc, it's just going to take it.
100%.
It's just like growing up with my dad. If I gave him any lip, I'd be whack, bang.
Absolutely.
That's my stuff to deal with anyway.
Absolutely. So, looking at this point again, it's just a give-go. This is just...
That was a nice hit to the top of the stack.
Try the most basic play. You throw, your defender's got his back to where you're running towards, so they got to turn and run. So if you throw and just take off, it's like you've got a standing sprint, but the guy's backwards. So by the time he caught up, boom, boom, thanks for coming. It was simple but effective play.
That said, they needed that. That would have been 4 in a row had Vanguard scored. What's the score? Oh, yeah. 14-9 over on Tom's game, which means he won't play. He won't saunter over until it's at least 3 points closer.
Well, Caf's had 4 in a row apparently. I've been told to take my cleats off though, Mozza.
You only need to get in for 1, Tom.
Correct.
That's right. Put it back on for 1. Send it downtown.
No, nowhere near necessary. It's a very deep team. Loving some of the connections there. But you'll hopefully see this next game. We'll hopefully bring something.
Yeah, no, we're going to get it here with Crank. Does Crank have Boothie?
No, not that I've noticed.
See him on the list.
Yeah. He's
been suspended again. All right, so pool's gone up. Vanguard, stop it nicely, just ahead of the brick mark. Cookie Nguyen. Oh, Elsa. It's just not going right.
I had 5 or 6 of those in the short time I've been here, which is unfortunate. So this is a chance for Hills. Again, they're on the right side. That's the hoodoo if you've heard it. So they're going to finish this point and then add one.
So we're going to see a game to 15 likely.
Unless this is really hard angle.
Wow.
Great read.
Sutton. Hannah Monty.
Thanks for coming. It's game to 15. So it is a long way.
You wouldn't say Vanguard are up and about.
No, they're not. They're not. They made a mini run, but it was always, you know, they got the base camp. They're always going to struggle to get to Everest.
Well, was that those turns up in that corner?
Yeah, absolutely.
Up in the far corner when they couldn't make it 4 in a row.
It hasn't been terrible. My observation would have been, you know, just a little bit of unluckiness in some cases. Yep. But as I said, I mean, also the choices of some of the throws. The unluck has also been a bit of panic.
Yep.
So, you know, this is the opportunity for some of these guys to learn from this. The beauty of Ulti TV coming out and taping it is they can come back and watch this. Analyse and then everyone can take something out of it. But Hills,
in Andy Baddix's case, just watch it over and over and stew on every little thing.
Have we had any close-ups of him? Can we make sure he's got a few freeze frames just to make sure you get a good look at himself?
We got some unintentional stuff last game where he got a little bit close to the mic when he was having a more verbose chat with his teammates. Very so we apologise once again to anyone that...
That was a very verbose statement from you there, Mozza, but
yeah, we apologise again, anyone that caught that.
So Vanguard, to stay alive, has to go into the wind.
Well, they're playing D from here on out, basically, aren't
they? Hills will come out for zone, I'm almost certain of that, and we'll try to get it to the away from camera side, try to get them trapped there and get stuck with a disc. And so far, Vanguard's counter strategy has just been a huck it to a contest, which hasn't worked. So great pull. Nice Badix catches it and doesn't do anything with it. There we go. Now, it's a bit static. 2 passes and they're just outside their own end zone. 1-2. Good movement, but nothing there. There we go. That's broken it. There's a Dingham connection if you want. No, didn't want it. But they got control. They're on the right side of the field.
He's gone!
Bang! And he's actually set it before he threw it, and that's going to be really well read. Really well read.
Matty Smith.
I think he just picked his receiver.
You know what? That's probably the game in a nutshell.
It is. And you know what?
It's all the hard work.
I'll tell you what, the amount of turnovers in my time I've seen where you catch it outside the end zone and do that, it happens so often. It happens so often.
He's going. He's going.
Not thrown though. We did have 2 drops. So there's an open player from Hills. That's Sutton, isn't it?
Come back in again.
Thrown over Sutton. That's over his head though. Did not read that at all. He actually had an undercut. So
that's Mark McLee. Working hard on Nunu.
So if I get the disc back, wind's picking up. I hope these sunshades stay strong.
They both.
Baddix, this time backhand, and it's going to go out of bounds right. Yeah, that's last time forehand was a lot better than backhand.
There's a little bit of self-talk going on.
I think there is. So if you look closely on camera in the replay, it's actually the moustache is a windshield, and that actually turns his shoulder over, which is what ruined that, the wind velocity on his moustache. That's the problem. Here we go. That's just trying to do the right thing.
Really kicking up now, to be fair.
Yeah, you look. It's almost, you can almost do like the rugby union tactics now. Just get in the end zone and zone, but just play for field position. But slowly through doing that, Vanguard have actually gained field position just by getting and turning over. This is
now
a
Nunu throws a pie.
This is wow. Oh, he thought he had it.
No, he's going to have to say he had that first.
I'm not sure he had because he's taller. I cannot see how he had it.
Here we go. I think at best that is simultaneous, which means offense would retain it. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, he's just bounced off. I think that's just a solid grab and a great effort by that girl. Who's that? That's the one that caught it before, isn't it? They're arguing, and he said, "Yeah, have it."
Waved away.
Finding it.
Golski.
That was the same lady that caught it earlier and I think threw it away, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's Alicia Handley.
Alicia Handley, that was 2 fantastic grabs and I think maybe just didn't give her enough credit there. He just thought, I've got this, but she had hops there and
up against you,
and with a strong catch as well. So good spirit.
How big your beard is, I'm going.
Great spirit there by Hills. Here we go, get another look. It floats and I was thinking that's turn. You've got 2 guys bearing down and she's just gone hand up and bang. So the other good thing about that, when you're sort of catching discs like that, is you see both of them, they got the hand up ready to go and then they jump with it. It's very hard to, jump with your feet, but also with your hands. There's too many moving parts. So it's really good technique there to get your hand up. So all you got to do is then use your legs to elevate, rather than trying to elevate and then snatch at it as well, which often results in a turnover.
Your game's still going, Tom.
It is. Look, they're lost without me, Mozza. What can I say? But, my commitment to you and our conversation is far more important.
That's right. They're all over it. Like you said, Tom, solid team. Solid mob. All right. As we said, Vanguard will be playing D from here on out if they're a chance.
Will they get to double digits, Moz?
I think they will.
I think they will too. They got the win at their back, but then I think the next point they'll sort of close it out.
Don't underestimate the experience of their top end. They're more experienced players versus Hills.
Correct. Well guarded there because I was coming. Little leading pass, good gainer. So 2 passes and they've got it to the brick mark, which is good considering last time there's an injury here. I think it was just a calf just cutting. I'm not sure, or chasing before. Not sure if it's an injury or a pick. Yeah, he's asked for an injury. Ding him on. Hopefully he's okay. Looks all right. Just a calf or a cramp or something. I'm not sure, but
I think it was Maddie Smith. To be fair, just a worthy correction. I think it was Maddie Smith that took that last high grab.
Okay. Apologies. Well done, Maddie.
You got to give a pump up for a grab like that.
Absolutely.
The name right.
Great collection. Great. So they'll get the match up again when the injury happened.
All right. Well, I think we might be about to lose Tomash. He's going to stick around for 1 more point. But I tell you what, if his team don't pull their head in, he's going to have to get on there and make things happen.
Oh, Hills.
It's about to end. Oh,
wow.
Hannah Monty had a chance to win it, but there's been a call. There's been a call that he got in the way. Oh, I don't know if that's a call.
That would have been it. I could have gone there, Mozzo.
You could have been the hero for everyone, Tharian.
Well, but they're still talking, though.
So Hannah Monty, Dignam gets in the way, gets the D. Oh, I think that's a clean D. I would really love to see this be a withdrawal.
It's got to get rid of a discussion. They're not going to solve anything by talking about it for too long. Like, it gets to a point where you just got to go back. But
we have the additional support of the lads. They're not observers, advisors, game advisors.
Correct. So they'll clarify the rules, but at the end of the day,
Rest with the players, absolutely.
You know, it's 97 minutes and ticking. There's a game to go. They explain the situation. Sometimes it's not clear. That's the thing about any sport you play. Sometimes the situation's not clear. And in ultimate, if it's not clear, you go back. Doesn't always suit you, but it's...
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen here. So Hannah Monty's going to have it right outside the end zone. Tomash wants the game to end so he can jump back on the other field and be the hero.
No. Confidence. They'd never live it down if that happened, Mossa.
No.
So the other problem is Hannah threw a backhand. It should have been a little flick or something. It was a push pass.
Yeah.
But here we go. She's going to dump it now, reset.
Much more disciplined.
Bang. Thanks for
coming. There it is.
Through.
That's the game. Hills played an exceptional game, 15-9.
Brilliant.
Jump Vanguard played a very aggressive zone. I think a few people would be surprised with that result, but credit to Hills Youth plus Joe. They fully deserved it. And I think we might have to leave it there. I don't know if we're going to kick over to the other game, but in this case...
thanks for having me, Moz.
That's all right. You're welcome, Tomash.
Well commentated and well done to Hills Ultimate. Great effort.
See you in the next game, Tom. All right, we are going to get out. So we might even see the man going from commentator to player. We're going to just pick up the last part of this game. The reason we're picking it up is because Meraki were out and free. They're about 5 points up, and since then, CAF have been on the tear. And so there's been a 6-goal run. Oh, and we're losing our... The wind's really kicking up. We're starting to lose our stuff here. Right. So, for those just tuning in, ignore the score. That is not the score of this game. Hills Youth plus Joe did well in the last game, but now it is Meraki versus CAF. They were home and hosed, but it's now 11-14, but it's been 6 in a row, so it's been an all-time comeback. Meraki moving it up. This is for the game. If they score this, they are home. If they score this, Tom Brigaki gets no credit because he was sitting jawing with me, having a good old chin wag whilst his team were grinding it out. If they don't score, you'd be pretty safe to see Tom on the field next. So we got Jules. Jules back to Jasper. Jasper wants the little inside lefty backhand. Goes to throw the flick, fakes it, and then it opens up the spot for Mikey Trong with some exceptional positional popping. Jules fakes out Jasper. Jasper thought he was going to throw it. And Jules holds it. Oh, flippy floppy backhand over the top. I think that's Jude. Yeah, that's Jude. There you go. Back to... And that's the goal. That's the game. Oh, there's a travel call. Oh, very good. Very good. This is what we play for. Little travel call on Jasper. There was an action replay as well. Jasper holds it. Doesn't throw. Goes outside. And there's a D. Here we go. Still got a game. I think that's Rob Swan with the disc. He winds up. He throws a low one. And it gets past all of them. Hits Sudis. They move it down. Big loopy one. But that is a absolute plotter throw. Oh, he's run straight past the end zone. Tom, what are you doing? Get back to the end zone, mate. Mikey Trong. Nice throw to Jude Birchall. It is. Just took me a second there. Oh. So, a little discussion as to whether it was a travel or not. Then we're talking about a travel. I think we've all calmed ourselves a little bit. So, the scores are now accurate. Meraki versus Vanguard. Vanguard, sorry, other way. I think it's the other way around. Meraki, let's not get ahead of ourselves. If Meraki score, they win. If CAF score, they've got to continue scoring. Mikey Trong, Mikey to Jasper. Jasper holding it at the lefty. He wants to go upstairs. Doesn't go upstairs, goes to Jules. Oh, almost anticipated by the cup. Jules holds it. Big ripping hammer. It's going nowhere. Jeez, Tom Della did all right to almost rescue it. I think that's Rob Swan now. Oh, it's a Sudis. Sudis wore one by his female opponent there. I think that's the Japanese national. Rob Swan. I hope that's Rob Swan. Good. All right. It's Rob Swan. Back to Sudis. Sudis to Swan. Swan to Sudis. Oh, that's not a great dump cut by Rob Swan. So Sudis has to put up a Hail Mary. And Swan can't get it because he had 2 to play on. And Tom Della's called an injury, but at least he managed to walk it back to the right line this time. And here he goes. Look who's coming on. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked to hear that Tom Regaki is left fresh from the commentary position to go, right, get on my shoulders, I'll carry you home. He's done nothing for the last 7 points. He sat with me. He was drinking my can of Coke. And now he's going to be the hero. The hero he knows he can be. I don't know if anyone else knows it, but he does. Thomas rips the big backhand. It's an absolute pie. Mikey Trong's 4 foot nothing and has to sit and almost gets it. Well done, Tom. Your team are absolutely stoked you've come on. Rob Swan with it now. Rob Swan holds it. He holds it too long. Gets it. Manages to get a really nice disc out. We don't have... Oh, now there's been another turn. It is a turn, and guess who picks it up? Thomas to Jules. Thomas completes a pass this time. Looks at Jules. Jules holds. I don't think there's a count yet. This is a long point, so players starting to get tired. Hits Jasper. Jasper, lovely disc inside, but that's a turn. And Kath have a chance. There, she's free. Someone's streaming free. But Sudis had someone in an absolute paddock, and he's giving himself a replay. That's not going to help. Surprise, surprise, picks up the disc, and ooh, he wanted to send it. He sends a lovely backhand through the cup. That's stellar. Jasper completes the pop. Some nice popping happening now. And now Mikey Trong. Mikey Trong just, put too much on it. Thomas was hunting it in the back, but not before Sudis got onto it. Sudis concedes a lot of ground to Rob Swan. Rob Swan throws a dagger, but that's a great grab. And now Sudis is back. Sudis is back. 2 go up the line, absolutely wreck it. But Sudis rips a lovely around break on Tom Ash. And then Sudis now, he's gonna make Tom work, but there's a hand block. There's a hand block. Tom's gonna pick it up. He's got Jules going. Jules doesn't want it. Now he's got Jasper going. He goes under to Jules. Jasper still going. Now Jules doesn't want it. Gets it back to Tom. You got 3 very tall blonde men running around. It's hard. Tom, big scuba over the top to Drew Mitchell. Back to Tom Ash. Tom Ash holds, throws a hammer, and that's the game. And he will be unbearable for the rest of the day. Sat on the sideline for the second half, did bugger all with me. Then they called him on. He got in on via an injury, thanks to a Tom Della blood nose. And then he scores the goal. Oh, that's heartbreaking for anyone who isn't named Thomas Regaki. Oh, anyway. All right, so that was the encore show. We had Meraki, sorry, I'll get that right. Meraki, 15-11 over CAF, who showed a lot of heart, put in a big comeback, but it wasn't enough. So the next game, the final slot of the day, we'll see at 3 o'clock. It will be Crank versus Meraki. Oh, God help us all, because Tom Regaki will be up and about. Just recapping the scores from the last game, Hills Youth plus Joe played an exceptional game. Hannah Monty and a couple of other younger players there, exceptional to take it over Vanguard, who were really troubled by the aggressiveness of Hills Youth plus Joe's zone. And earlier in the day, we had a result. I can't remember the result. It felt like 3 days ago. 15-9 to Hello Newman over Vanguard. So tough morning for Vanguard. We'll see if they can rebound. But up next, it will be Crank versus Meraki. We'll catch you then.
Alti.tv